Hi, my name is Stacy Kearns, and I'm so excited for you to be here. Because if you're watching this video, that means that you have a Stacy Kearns art canvas. So I'm an artist, and what makes my art special is a couple of things. One thing is, the first step in any of my paintings is I create the image with what's called joint compound. I'm going to call it plaster as I talk. With this plaster, I create my image. And let me just scoot that close. I'm hoping you can see that little sundae, that little ice cream sundae. So what's special about the canvas that you have received is I have already put the image onto the canvas for you to paint. For one, that means you're going to end up with an amazing painting, and it's really special because it's got this texture. Texture is how something feels or looks like it feels. So it's going to have this great texture. Your image is already on there, which makes it super fun to paint because you're just going to kind of paint right on top of that. So I cannot wait for you to get started on creating this. Just to show you, so this is one of my paintings, and you can see, let me kind of scoot up close, can you see how that texture is on there, and then I painted right on top. You're going to be using, and what I use is acrylic paint. Now let me just tell you, acrylic paint does not come out of clothes. So it's really important when you paint today, just like all of us artists, you need to put on a paint shirt or an apron, or maybe have some painting clothes, maybe some old clothes that you wouldn't worry if they got paint on them. So for this project, you're going to need your canvas, and some of you just got a canvas. That's great. That means you've got some paints and some paintbrushes at your house. If you got the Bright Spot box, the Canvas Painting Bright Spot box, I'm so excited for you. In your box, you should have gotten paintbrushes and the paint. So you're all set and ready to go. It also came with a little card. That's where you got the link to this video that kind of gave you a little bit of information. So what I would love to do is pull my sleeves up, get into my studio, and get to work to show you just a couple of artist tips on how you can make your canvas painting really special. But let me just tell you, our number one rule with doing all of this is just to have fun. This is a time for you to relax, get creative, and just be you and express yourself. So I want this painting to be unique just like you. So let's go get started. All right, I'm in the studio. I have pulled my sleeves up. Make sure if you have sleeves that you've pulled your sleeves up. You want to make sure that you're working on a surface that you can't get dirty. So I have this tablecloth here that I don't mind if I get paint on it. Make sure you've got something underneath your canvas so you don't get paint on the table. One suggestion could be some old newspapers, a tablecloth, anything that could protect that table. I've got my pre-plastered canvas from Stacy Kearns Art. I'm so excited to be working on that. I've got two paintbrushes, one a little bit bigger and then one smaller for details. I've got my paints, and they come in these little like cup-like containers. I also grabbed some paper plates. I know I'm going to be doing some paint mixing. That's what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to do that on paper plates. They do sell paint palettes. Maybe you have a fancy paint palette. I'm just going to use a paper plate. You can use anything that you can put that paint on. The great thing about paper plates is I throw it away when I'm done. I also have a cup of water because I'm going to want to wash my paintbrush off, clean it, dry it before I dip into a new color. So I've got this solo cup. I did mention about drying your paintbrush, so I grabbed a paper towel. So I've got a paper towel. So my canvas, my paintbrushes, paint, paper plate, cup of water, in this paper towel. So I'm all set. I also grabbed a pencil because I'm going to show you a little trick that you can do with the pencil and the eraser. When you paint, now, one thing I want you to know, this video is going to show you some tips, but this is your painting and you're going to make it look any way you want. So how you do it is wonderful, and I want it to be unique just like you. I'm sure you have all before in art class or a time that you've painted gotten to just dip your dip your paintbrush into the paint and then just paint it. Now I want to just kind of point a couple things out. I dipped my paintbrush in the paint. Notice I did not get any paint on this middle part. That's important. If you're getting paint all up in this middle part, that just means things are getting too messy, and you don't want to get too messy on this project. Now, again, like I said, I know already know how to just take that paint. This is acrylic paint we're working with. Dip right into the paint and paint. I know you know how to do that. Did you know with acrylic paint, if I take my paintbrush, dip it in the water, and rub it in the paint, I can make it look like it's watercolors. I don't know if you've used watercolors before. It's a different kind of paint. You can kind of see through watercolors. So I just wanted to kind of show you what I love about these acrylic paints is you can get it thick and opaque. Opaque means you can't see through it. Or you can add water to that color, to that paint, and make it more transparent and look like watercolor. It's really nice. Another way of saying that too is, can you see how it's darker where I just went straight out of the tub, and it's lighter where I painted with where I added that water and painted. Now you might be noticing something when I come around my ice cream sundae, and I know on this video that it's very hard for you to see that plaster. I'm up close to it, so it's easy for me to see, but I'm going to be careful as I go around my ice cream sundae because I don't want to get the paint on that plaster right now. The reason is because I might want to paint that a different color or maybe even white. And if I paint one color on it, when I paint another color on top, a lot of times you can see the first color underneath. So I'm just going to be careful as I go around this ice cream sundae. And oh my gosh, I just love this. Now, I do have words. They're right here. It says, "You're sweet." I am going to paint right over that. And I want a little bit of a watercolory look. So remember, I'm just dipping my paintbrush in that water, kind of creating a watercolor look, and it's getting lighter. So I'm doing that. Now, something else I want to talk to you about is something that I do frequently, and it is putting more than one color on my paintbrush at the same time. And many times I will do that when I'm creating a painting. So let me just show you. I'm going to wash my paintbrush off in the water. I'm going to dry that paintbrush. Then I'm going to come over here to my colors. I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and put it right there on my paint palette, which is actually a paper plate. I'm going to wash off my paintbrush, and I'm going to add a little bit of white over here. Now, if you've worked with white, you know if you add white to any other color, it makes that color lighter. If you're somebody that likes pastels, you can add white to any of these colors and make them a pastel. I'm not going to do that yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some white on my paintbrush and some yellow on my paintbrush at the same time. So you can see there's white there and yellow there. And then when I come over here to paint with it, I'm going to get yellow and light yellow all at the same time. So that's a little trick. I know it's hard to see with the yellow. I'll show you in some other areas up on my painting. I'm going to go ahead and wash my paintbrush off. Now, I see that I've got a cherry on top. I'm going to go ahead and dip into my red paint and paint that cherry. Just like that. But I think I would like some pink ice cream. I love pink. Now, you can see I do not have pink in my paints here. I know if I take red, wash off my paintbrush, and I add white to the red, you're going to notice what's happening. Do you see how I'm mixing this up? I love mixing colors. It's so much fun. I'm going to get, now you can see that's a lighter red and kind of like a dark pink. I think I'm going to go even lighter. I'm going to wash my brush off and I'm going to add more white. I'm going to put some white over here and I'm actually going to add this color to this white. Oh yeah, I think I'm loving that. That's a pretty pink. Okay, then I'm going to come back over here. Oh, I love that. And add, I can also put a little white on the side there. Ooh, and do you see how that mixed in? I love that. I also am going to do the pink right down here as if it's like strawberry sauce that we are putting on my ice cream. Ooh, that looks good. Now, I think I would like to make the glass part, like that cup, a light blue. To make a light blue, remember, I'm going to take white. I'm going to clean my paintbrush, and I'm going to get just a tiny bit of blue and mix that together right here on my paper plate. I think I'm going to need some more blue. I'm going to wash that paintbrush off again. Just a little bit more blue in there. Oh, I like that. And you can see, oh yeah, I love that. I'm going to paint my glass with this light blue. Oh, I could almost taste this sundae now. The other thing I can do is put a little dark and a little light on my paintbrush at the same time. And remember, I'm getting, look at that. I'm going to get highlights. A highlight is where the light is hitting an object. And then this is a shadow where it is shadowed. I'm going to kind of shadow this side of my glass. Look how fun. And it's easy because I have already done that image for you. So you are just painting that in. So I think I want to do this scoop of ice cream. Maybe I'll do mint chocolate chip. That is green. I'm going to mix it in with a little bit of white. Let me do this. Oh, that's fun. You're going to have so much fun doing this. I'm excited for you. I wonder what mint chocolate chip with strawberries on top tastes like. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I would like that. Now, I do want to show you, using this small paintbrush, I can do details. One thing I can do is I can outline, if I would like to, I could outline my sundae. So I can outline my little scoops. Here's my cherry on top. And see how I'm just using this, I dip into that black. And it's almost like I'm doing the drawing of what I painted. The fun thing about these paints is you'll have the primary colors. Primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. And with red, yellow, and blue, you can make all the other colors, which is super fun. Because I love color mixing. I know you will too. Oh, look, isn't that looking fun? So I've outlined this. I also want to go back in and maybe put those chocolate chips. I can put some chocolate chips in there. Ah, that's super fun. Now, I want to talk about these letters because I know probably from this video, it's hard for you to see those. So if I wanted to go back and make that a little bit darker, I could go back over that. Let's see, maybe I'll use blue. I can go back over right on top of that paint and trace over those letters. Just like this, to make those stand out. I can also write my own words, you know, just with a paintbrush, maybe with a Sharpie when it's done, when it dries. You can't draw with a Sharpie on wet paint, so you just have to make sure that it dries first. Sometimes if I'm being impatient on my paint drying, I'll use a hair dryer, and that helps it dry faster, which I probably should have done for these letters because this yellow paint is still wet. So my advice is before you paint on top, if you're going to do the letters or anything like that, make sure your paint underneath is dry, you know, before you do on top. Now, let me show you my fun tip with this pencil. This is one of the most fun things I think to do. If I would like to make dots anywhere, which I think are fun, maybe I want to use this dark pink that I had created. What you're going to do is you're going to dip your eraser. I know this sounds crazy, but you're going to dip your eraser into the paint, and then you're going to push straight down. Do you see how this just created perfect little dots? Now, I also think it's so fun to look around my house for other things that can create dots. Another idea, especially if you want smaller dots, is you could use the back of your paintbrush. So let me show you. I'll show you some dots with the back of my paintbrush. So I'm just going to dip in here. Look at these fun dots. And I think they just really make things neat. And you can do those dots just any old place on your canvas. Let me do a few up here. Oh, what fun. And you can see this didn't take me too long. I did this pretty quick. Now you can go back in and add details and add all kinds of things that you want. You could add your name in here at the top. You make this how you would love to make this. But I hope just showing you a couple little things gets you started, gets you excited. And I can't wait to see your finished painting. So I have a big favor. When you finish doing a painting, I'd love if somebody could take a picture of it and send it to Stacy Kearns Art. Now you can send it to stacykearnsart.com where you bought your canvas. I'm also on Facebook, Stacy Kearns Art on Facebook. Share those pictures. I would love to see you with your painting or even just your painting. If you're doing it with your family, send me a picture of your family. I would love it. But I'm going to let you go get creative. Have so much fun on this painting. Bye.